Hey everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I have something different today, although my mom did it with me. Well, I did it with her about a couple months ago. So she took a picture frame, put a picture in there, traced it with liquid lead, and we filled it in with resin. She did a starburst a while back. And I decided I'm going to take an 8x10 frame and do the same thing, but this time I'm going to test out the hand-painted resin. And I'm going to pipe this as the liquid lead that you could buy from Amazon. But why buy the liquid lead when you can mix that and color it? So I pulled out these two colors, the gray and the black, to see if I can get it to look like lead. But before I start, I have a couple things to show you. I got a gift from Georgia Blevins. She sent me a plethora of these little tiny micro brushes, but it's not the micro brush like you guys are thinking. These are really tiny paint brushes. These are great for all those tiny little places I try to get. So she must have seen me struggling and had a solution. So she has sent me a lifetime supply, basically, of these little brushes. So, Georgia, if you are watching, thank you so much. I got your little notes in the package, so I do appreciate it. The other thing I want to mention, I have a few new glitters to show you. I'm not going to be using them today, but I do want to show you. This one is called Cinnamon Sticks. It's a custom mix that I came up with. So this one is really pretty, especially for fall when fall comes, but it's got the holographics with the golds and the browns and the oranges and the greens, so that is really pretty. Then I came up with another custom mix called Frozen, blues and greens, and this is a chunky and an ultra fine put together in one, and that is really pretty. These are already on eBay. I will link them below, and I did name Mia after Mia's mermaid. She came up with this mix when she came as a visitor on the show. So I did do the mixture, and it is for sale now on the eBay. So Mia, you got your own color in my store. I hope you like it. So before I begin, I have to seal this. This frame I purchased at a thrift store, actually. I got it for, this says $2.99, and I got it half off of that because they were having a sale that day. So the first thing I want to do is seal this glass in here. And when me and my mom did it, I just took some UV resin, and actually I think I'm going to do it on the front first. We did it on the front and the back. So that way when we do pour, or when I do pour the resin in here, I want it to be sealed up against the frame. But it looks like I can't do it. I have to do it upside down first. Otherwise the glass is loose. That's the way we did it anyway, but I guess that's the way we have to do it. So I'm going to grab some gloves. I have my piping bag ready, a little tip, but I think that tip is a little bit too big for the leaded glass. So I'll have to get a smaller tip, or maybe just cut the little tip of that off for my little circle. Let me grab some gloves and UV resin and a light, and we will get started. This is so exciting. Oh, let me show you the picture I chose. So I went online and I looked up some crosses, and I thought this would be really cool to do for the photo on the leaded glass. So I'm going to put this picture on the glass and trace it with my hand painter's resin. Let that cure, and then we will do the resin work. This is going to be a little tricky because this flap does not come off, which is kind of hard. So I have my high viscosity UV resin here. I'll show you a little bit and then I will fast forward because there's going to be a lot of wait time for curing. I'm just going to kind of squeeze it right along that edge. And then I'm going to cure it for a couple of minutes until I do the next edge. Once this whole back is done, then I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to grab my light, get this cured, and then I will put you on a fast forward for the rest of it, and then we can start the project. everything is sealed in top and bottom. I put the picture in, and then what I did is I took a red marker because I didn't want to use all the lines that they wanted me to use. Not really wanted me to use, but the lines that were there. So I did eliminate some of them, and I didn't want to guess when I was doing it. So I went over everything I want with the red marker. And now I'm just mixing this up. This is 2 to 1 by weight. I mixed up 20 ounces of A and 10 ounces of B. Not ounces, grams. 20 grams of A, 10 grams of B. So a total of 30 ounces. It's really thick and gluey. It sticks to your stick. That's why I think this will work. So I hope it works. I'm going to grab my gray. I'm going to start with the gray. See what the gray looks like, if it's dark enough to resemble the liquid lead. I might add some black to it. I'm not sure. I did clean off the glass, which now I have to do it again with some alcohol. Got all the dust, everything off of it. It's been sitting in my cabinet for quite a while, waiting for something to do with it. I figured out what to do with it finally. That's pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. It's a nice deep gray. I don't think I'm going to add any black to it. All right, let me wipe off my glass one more time since I just got some powder on there. I'll remove the paper after it's completely dried with my colors, because I want to be able to see the picture as I'm trying to do this tomorrow after it's cured. I'm just going to get this in a piping bag. I'm guessing the 30 grams is enough. If not, it's easy enough to mix up more. But when I did the 24 grams for the birthday cake and the coasters that I did with this stuff, it was plenty, so I can't imagine I'm going to need more than I needed for that. If you guys have any ideas how else I can use this, I've done it on some drips for chocolate drips. I've done it on birthday cakes as piping. Now I'm doing it on this. What else have I done it on? I don't remember. That might be it. I only use it a few times. But I can't find any inspiration out there on YouTube, so nobody's really using it yet. Alright, I'm just going to cut a hole in my bag. I'm not going to use a tip because, I don't know, I'm too lazy to go get a different one. The one I have in here already is too wide. So I'm going to cut it small. And then, if I need it bigger, I'll cut it bigger. I'm going to cut off this end. I don't need all that in my hand. So let's see. I do need it a little bit thick because it's got to hold enough resin in. Okay, are we ready? No time like the present, right? The question is, where do I begin? I think I should begin at the top. I'll do a little bit with you and then I will fast forward because I do have to concentrate. I almost need my cake turntable. But the nice thing is, if you mess up, you can just take it right off and start over. So I'm trying to get it nice and thick. And so far, I think it's pretty good. I will adjust this as I see fit too, because the thickness of the hole that I made. think what I'm going to do is grab a little tool here, because my lines aren't perfectly straight. My hand's a little shaky. There's a string in it. And I'm just going to fix it while I can. Well, that fixes really nicely. All right, so yeah, I've got a lot ahead of me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you on a little fast forward until I get it done. That wasn't really too bad, you guys. It went on really nice. It went on smooth. It came out of the bag really smoothly, and I just went over it with that dotting tool, and I just put the seams together so they joined nicely like lead would join, and it would make sure it would separate the resin into the colors. So I know it's kind of hard, I guess from your point of view, it's not that bad to look at, but from close up, I kind of really gonna have to keep an eye on what sections I'm coloring what. There was just a tiny bit left over. So I made some pendants, and because you can't get it flat, I know you can't see it from here, I made peaks in it. So it's gonna be like a lumpy pendant and earrings. And then I sprinkled some silver glitter, sparkle dust stuff, crushed crystal, that's what it is, over that. So I'm just gonna let this cure. I have tried to cure this stuff on a heat mat before, and it didn't really do anything. So I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to just let it cure overnight, probably 24 hours before I start working on it again. So I'm excited. I think this is going to work out really well. All right, well, I shall see you as soon as I have colors picked out and it's ready to go. It's been 24 hours. It is cured, but I do want to say, if you guys use this, I checked it probably 4 hours after I put it on the glass. I didn't put a heat mat on it or anything. I didn't know how it was going to respond. I didn't want it melting, so I just let it cure naturally. 4 hours later, it was just as wet as it was when I put it on here. So you guys have tons of working time with this stuff. So if you're intimidated by it, don't be. You have plenty of time. You could always wipe it off, put it back on, whatever. You have tons and tons. You are not going to run out of working time. I did get these cured. These as well took a long time to cure. And they are, like I said, they're textured. I don't think you could see it in the camera, but they are textured. They look kind of cool. So I made 2. That's all I had left. So I think I did pretty good guessing at I think it was 30 grams or something that I used. So what I'm going to do today, I decided I'm not going to do it all resin. I'm going to do like multimedia. And the first thing I'm going to work on is the sun rays. And I wanted to use something sparkly, so I took out my yellow rhinestones. Now this is going to take me a while, but I knew that when going into it. So this whole video is probably going to take me multiple days to finish because I want it to be good, and I'm really not sure. I have a few glitters picked out. I'm just thinking about exactly how I want it. So I'm going to start with the rhinestones, and these are different size yellows, which is fine. And what I'm going to do, it's really hard. It's easier for me to look through the camera actually to know where I'm going. So I'm going to start in this one. And this is just my liquid fusion that I use for rhinestones. Everything I use is always linked in the description box. So if you're ever wondering what I'm using, go in there first. If you don't see it, then ask me. I'll get you the link if I have it. So I'm just going to cover this little square. I'll do one square at a time. I just filled it up so it's a little leaky right there. And I'm just going to go through, and if you haven't done rhinestones, then I'm going to tell you it takes a while because you're placing them one by one by one. And I want them to kind of fit but I am going to use different sizes to give it a little bit more interest. So this is what I'm going to do probably for the next hour or so. So I'm going to put you on a fast forward if you want to watch. Let me try to zoom you in if I can, and then we will get this going, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of it. So what do you think so far? I decided to go and do red as well. It really didn't take long. Probably took me an hour to do those two. So I think I could finish this tonight. I just mixed up 1 ounce of my casting resin. I should have done my fast cure, but I don't know. I just grabbed one because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do the cross in a mica powder. I know this isn't your normal like stained glass. I'm going like out of the box just to do like a photo. It's not really meant to be stained glass at this point. So I'm going to do mica powder for the cross. I'm going to do my Razzle Dazzle holographic silver for the wings. And I wanted to do my heaven since it was fitting for the clouds, but it was a little chunky. So I'm going to do the unicorn, which is really the same kind of thing minus the chunky part. So I'm just going to mix up, not on top of there. I don't want to get my powder in there. I'm just going to mix up some of my brown in here. And pour that in. I really don't know how much it's going to take. It's kind of hard to judge. So I figured I'll start with 1 ounce at a time. That looks pretty good. Let me just put my cap on over here. And start drizzling it in, I guess. I hope it's all sealed to the glass. Otherwise, I'm going to have a little bit of a problem. Now, if you try to do this, just don't go above the little lines that you created with your lead. I made mine pretty thick, just so I didn't have to be really, really careful. But you still have to, it takes very little, so I guess I'm going to have some extras here. Oh, I hope that don't spill over. It really barely takes anything. That probably took a ½ ounce for the whole thing, if that. So I definitely have some left. But I do have to look at it from the screen because I can't tell looking so close if I got it all. Yeah, I think I got all that. So I'm going to find something to do with this. I'll probably put some in my hand mold, get that filled up, maybe make a pendant or two. And then I'm going to mix up some more, and we're going to do the wings next. All right, so keep in mind, if you try this, you're going to have to watch it. I have a low spot right here. I've had to take a little bit out of that piece because that tiny corner is a lot lower than this corner, so be careful. So I've decided to mix up my 4-hour fast cure because it's a lot thicker, and I would be able to control it a little bit better because I want it just in these spots, which I think I'm going to not use a stick. I think I'm going to use my scribe just because it's a lot thinner. and I can move it where I want it. And be mindful of there's going to be low spots. And I don't want to drip onto my rhinestones, so this is like, you have to be really careful. That's it for tonight, you guys. We're going to take the paper out tomorrow and see if we could see the sunlight through the wings and the clouds. Everything else probably not, obviously. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get this cured and we'll see what it looks like. All right, it's the next evening. It's been 24 hours at least, and I had a couple extras. So here's a little keychain I made with the holographic silver and a little dragonfly on there. Then I wanted to try out the little hair clip mold with the extra brown. And because the brown looked really like boring, I blinged it up with some silver and gold rhinestones and put them on the clips. So whoever gets these, I hope you need them for your long hair. Otherwise you're gonna have to give them to somebody who can. Now this, if I was to do it again, the silver and the unicorn are very close. I would probably change one or the other, probably this one. But I'm happy with it. Now I took it out in the sunlight. I took the backing paper off and I took the back off so like the sun can shine through it. And it looked fine. It looked pretty. You can do that. This is going as a demo on my eBay store. So if you do end up with it, you can take this back portion off and have the sun shine right through the glass. However, because this is rhinestone, and this is not see-through, that sun doesn't shine through them. So it only comes through these two. So I put a white piece of paper on the back of it because this unicorn glitter picks up whatever's behind it. So I didn't want to leave just cardboard behind it because the cardboard was brown and this was picking up the brown coloring. So I put white behind it so you can kind of see. I mean, in person you can see it really pretty. On the camera, not so much. Now, I don't know. I was thinking about painting the outer frame, but I think the brown goes well with the cross. So I think I'm just going to leave it. So that's it, you guys. I just wanted to show you another way you can use that hand painter's resin. I hope you like it. Give me some ideas. I do have another frame sitting around here, another 8x10. So let me know what kind of picture you might want me to do on that one, and I will try to do it. So I will get you some pictures. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something. Give that resin a try. It's super fun and something different to do other than just pouring resin. All right, you guys have a blessed day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.